Hello everyone. Today I am here with a new chapter from your geography book, that is water. Children, this is a very interesting and easy chapter as we all are connected directly with this term and experience the importance of water everywhere. Children, just tell me, can we live without water? We can survive without food for few weeks, but without water one will die in just a few days. This is how water is considered as a precious resource for all the living organisms on the earth. So in this chapter we'll study about water cycle, distribution of water bodies, ocean circulations. Before getting into the first heading, water cycle, please enjoy this song which will relax you.
Drip, 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 the raindrops fall. They pool in my yard when it rains for long. When the sun comes out, the water dries, becomes vapor and goes up in the sky. The vapors gather to make little clouds, more and more till the clouds are dark. When the clouds get heavy, it rains again. Drip, 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 drip down on the plains.
What happened, children? Did you get something from it? But really, I enjoyed a lot as it reminded me about my childhood experience. Don't worry. Now we will be learning about water cycle in detail. So let us proceed ahead. Water is very much important for everyone because without it there would be no life, or no life is possible without it, as we have experienced it. All these playful bears, northern considered birds, or even the human beings depend on it. That's why we must look after it. We should concern about water well and maintain our rivers and oceans clean. Did you know the water never stands still but is in always constant movement? And this constant water movement is what we call water cycle. Now let us learn more about it. When the sun warms the water on the earth's surface, it evaporates, converting itself into water vapor or steam. And it begins with an incredible journey flying into the sky up towards the atmosphere. This first stage of its journey is known as evaporation. When the water converts into vapor, it rises towards the atmosphere, then cools down, transforming itself into clouds. This second stage of its journey is called condensation. Once the water has condensated and turned into a cloud, it continues its amazing journey by being blown by the wind, traveling from one place to another place. Clouds are actually tiny little drops of water suspended in the air. But when the clouds grow, they collect more and more water. These water drops crash into each other and become bigger drops of water. Then they will end up falling to the ground in the form of rain or even snow. This form of water cycle is called precipitation. The water which falls to the ground, which precipitates in the form of either rain or snow, may land in rivers or even on the ground. All this water must continue its long journey, converting vast amount of distances, and it finally reaches to the sea. When it arrives at the big blue sea, it will once again begin the same process. These are evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. That is why it is called water cycle, because it is a form of never ending cycle. Children, did you understand it properly? Okay, so let us proceed to the next heading of this lesson, that is distribution of water. Already you have learned in your previous class that 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered by water, means only 1/4 is land. और बाकी 100% पानी ही पानी है. इतना सारे पानी है हमारे पास, तो फिर भी हम लोग क्यों बोलते हैं वाटर स्कैर्सिटी? सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड इट. Why there is water scarcity? We already know all the water on the surface, below the ground and surrounding the earth known as hydrosphere. We can also see water in different forms like rivers, seas, oceans, snow, rain, glaciers, ice caps, etc. Here, if you observe, water is present in solid forms in glaciers, snow and ice caps, whereas it exists in liquid forms in oceans, rivers, seas and rainfall. Can water present in gaseous state? Children, we all have seen the steam coming out from the boiling water. This steam of water is in gaseous state. So we can say water exists in all three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Now, if you look into the distribution of water in different forms of the earth, 71% of earth is covered by water and the remaining 29% is land. And around 97% of this water is in seas or oceans. So we call this water marine water or saline water, as it has more amount of dissolved salt. So it is not fit for drinking, and the remaining 3% is fresh water. We will call this fresh water because the dissolved salt content is very less, and that is the reason why it is fit for drinking. And of the total fresh water, major part is locked in glaciers and ice caps, followed by underground water, and just a small amount is located in rivers and lakes. So only a small portion of water is available for drinking out of the total portion of the water of the earth. So this is the reason why we must put efforts in conserving water. So it is rightly said by the great rhyme ancient mariner, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. It stands true completely in case of our planet Earth. Children, now it is the end of this session. Remaining part of this chapter I will discuss you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and be safe. Thank you and Jai Swaminarayan.